So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Q&A this week. I'm like, it's such a good weather. It's about to rain. Why not make another beautiful video? So, today's question is going to be interesting. Okay, and remember, my Nakshatra Dasha course is currently going on right now, which you can log in anytime. But I'm going to be showing the feedback of a student that I did regarding their career. Okay, we're using Nakshatra Dasha. It'll be very, very interesting. So for that, the link is here under courses section, and the top section you'll find my consultations, reports, and books. Okay, so the first question that was asked is by Wayne. How planetary deities' life story affects our life or pattern? Okay, so can you please make a video on this? Sure. So here's the thing about Nakshatra deities in your life. Everything is these classical stories. I don't like to call them mythology because they're much more than mythology. We're just too stupid to understand the real history. You know, if you were to wipe this entire planet out, a new species starts within 400 years. What are they going to know about us? Nothing. You know, so for example, let's take the Nakshatra of Ardra. It's funny, I'm using the Ardra Nakshatra, and here, you know, the storm is going to be coming. So Ardra Nakshatra is by Rudra. Rudra is the deity. And Ardra Nakshatra occurs at 6 degrees and 40 arc minutes of Gemini, all the way till 20 arc minutes of Gemini. And it's controlled by Rudra, one of the forms of Shiva. So if you just look at one excerpt of Rudra, is that Rudra was created by Brahma, one of the left eyebrows of Brahma. And he created Rudra, he created Bhrigu, created, I believe, Agastya and a couple of other rishis to go and populate the world, right? And Rudra is known as the original medicine man. The one who had herbs in his pouch, and if anybody was sick and dying, he would give something, he would make something and give it to them, and they will just come back to life. So one of the things we see, first of all, the eyebrows. Right? So you will notice Ardra people, especially when ascendant, sun, moon are in Ardra, they will have very thick eyebrows, especially thick eyebrows towards the end. The other thing we also see, they have a strong sight, because again, it is right where the eye is. When they see their life, they see it to the end. They're like, this is what I want to achieve. I'm going to do this, this, and this. Some people are like, well, I take life day to day and I'll see what happens. No, these guys are like from 10 years old. I have to do this. I have to achieve this. But if you look, Brahma wanting to, you know, have these deities create and populate the earth, that's a big task. That's what? Creation. Brahma is creation. So here Rudra comes in, who actually even was assigned to go and get Brahma as well, to go kill Brahma, to get his head. But that's another story. But the most simplest thing you can see is that an Ardra person has to create and manifest something that has not been created so far. These are the people who have to take something that they have learned and create something brand new from it. For example, let's say US government created everything that we know, from internet to cell phone to email to everything. Okay, and then cell phones came into play, a very basic cell phone. But then what Apple and Steve Jobs did, they took this thing that was there and they completely changed it. They brought something brand new out of it, which was an iPhone, where you have everything in the palm of your hand. If I wanted to, I could just do my readings here. If I wanted to, I can make a video here and send it to you, instead of just sitting here in front of the camera. I can do everything from this. This is Rudra, this is Ardra. It has created something that is populating. So what happens with Apple iPhone? It has populated the earth. Every single phone across the world has the same dynamic as the iPhone. Touchscreen, apps, cameras, right? But also, if you look at another part of Ardra, is how the government created the phone first for military purposes. So again, some Rudra there was given this task. Hey, we got to communicate really fast. We can't do this, slow form of communication. So they created cell phone to directly talk to someone. So Ardra, which is the electric storm of Rudra, says this electric storm is going to jolt and change everything. It's going to destroy something. It's going to change something into this world. So you take that and you put that in your chart. For example, somebody who comes in as a CEO with Ardra, okay, they're going to completely shift everything about the company, whether for good or bad. Because see, Shiva, Rudra is a destroyer. So what an Ardra person will do, like, we're going to get rid of this entire team. I'm going to get rid of this entire department. And I'm going to start something new. New people, new everything. You look at somebody with Ashwini Nakshatra. Ashwini is the Ashwin Kumars, the healers, the miracle workers, the children of sun. And so wherever you will see Ashwini Kumars go, wow, it's starting to storm. I got to get out of here. And these Ashwin Kumars were actually the sons of Surya, twins. And they went around performing miracles for people, right? So just by Ashwini, we see that this person is the type of person. So let's say, for example, a company is struggling and they hire a new CEO who has, let's say, moon in Ashwini, 10th Lord in Ashwini. They're going through the dasha of a planet sitting in a Ashwini Nakshatra. What they're going to do, they're going to now perform miracles for this company. Instead of going into bankruptcy or filing Chapter 11, they don't do any of that. They suddenly start producing. For example, if you look at the example of AMD, before that CEO came in, I forgot her name. You know, AMD was just average. It's just like a secondary, chip making company. But as soon as she came, boom, it just spread. And now AMD, video cards are like the most desirable. Oh my God, I want the RTX 390 or RTX 700, who knows, whatever they are. And they're like now being sold for like $3,000 on eBay, price gouging those particular graphic cards. So the Ashwini person comes in and suddenly performs miracle for them. Ashwini person comes in, and they quicken the pace of whatever it is that was there. So if you go into, let's say you're even an IT individual, you're given a project as your first employment project, and you have, let's say, Ashwini Dasha happening, or your moon is in Ashwini. What's going to happen is you're going to use that Ashwin mind to really, okay, I know how to finish this thing. I'm going to finish this thing. You perform this miracle of finishing those things. So this is how you can interpret all the nakshatra stories into your own life, into how things are going to be manifested during that time period. For example, let's say if you take a Revati individual. What you will see with Revati individual, or even Revati, you can look at Bharani too. At the same time, it's funny, I'm using Bharani and Revati, both are connected with elephant. These are the people who can either bring back something which was lost into existence, or something which is just about to die back to life. Because Bharani is connected with Shukracharya, especially the Sanjeevani mantra of bringing people from death to life. And it's naturally a Yama ruled nakshatra, which is about dealing with death, rebirth, and the karma. And especially in Revati, you will see that this person become highly devoted to whatever work that you're giving them. If somebody is going through Revati nakshatra, and they were given this duty to clean out this land, okay, make it look nice and neat. Even if it's not their work, but they're doing it just to pay their bills, the Revati person will be completely immersed into it. Like, I am completely devoted to this task and I'm going to complete it. So this is how we interpret, nakshatra stories into our own life. Okay, and again, you can go through all 27 nakshatras like that. Then the next question was asked, Kailasha, how can we predict about life-changing year? Okay, so life-changing year. There are several times when life changes. It's not just once life changes. For example, somebody was poor, wins a lottery. That becomes a life-changing event. They lose all their money. They become poor again. That's a life-changing event. But from there, they again do something in terms of their work that makes them even higher than when they won that lottery. That's a life-changing event. So life-changing events are, first of all, you want to see them from the moon chart. Why? Because moon, which is the mother, which is being impregnated with all the karmas, it shows how the karmas are being revealed. And you will notice, especially when Raj Yogas, okay, the combinations for success, when the Kendra and Trikon Lord are conjunct together in any house, especially from the moon, those particular time periods become when you suddenly start experiencing, these life-changing events. Why? Because it's like, like the joy of that pregnancy happening. And so same way, your, storage of happiness starts expanding during that time period. But especially if you just look at the years, one thing I have seen always, 33rd year. 33rd year becomes a very strong time of change in a person's life. 33rd year, 40th year, and 45th year. These are very strong periods that I've seen in my own, work and research, that these become very transformative period when certain things, events takes place where you see life changing. If you also want to see life changing, if you see a strongest planet, like for example, a planet exalted in your birth chart, and it's also in a very strong position in Navamsha, right? Let's say Mars. Mars is exalted, okay, in the birth chart. It's also in a strong placement in the Navamsha. Well, you can clearly see there's two ways to predict this Mars. 28th year, this Mars will give its result. Why? Because Mars matures at 28. The second result you will see, and this could be literally very early in life, or it could happen before 30th year. This particular technique is only up to 30th. Look at the degrees of Mars. If let's say your Mars is at 24th degree of Capricorn, okay, it's exalted. You will see 24th year also that Mars gives you significant results from the ascendant or the moon related to whatever it's supposed to give to you. If it's in the 10th house, you can see its career. If it's in the 7th house, marriage and children and promotions can occur. So these become life-changing years. But also, one of the strongest thing that I've seen, and this is something I'm going to tap into probably by end of this year or next year, and this is not too many people even focus on this. Everybody focuses on Vimshotri. Yogini Dasha. Yogini Dasha becomes very, very important in terms of life-changing events, right from the day a Yogini Dasha starts. So, and this is something you have to understand, all the things related to the Ulka Dasha, Bhadrika, Brahmri, all these different names given to Sankata, all these names given to these planets, right? So like Ulka is Saturn, Sankata is Rahu, Brahmri is Mars, Bhadrika is Mercury, Dhan something is Jupiter. But you will see they have their own specific slokas and predictions that without even looking you can make a judgment. But there's a way to understand Yogini Dasha and life-changing events, and people say, well, Yogini Dasha repeats. Absolutely repeats. It repeats. But then there's also a change in there as well. There's a change. You have to change the ascendant to a certain point to understand that particular dasha and what it's going to do. And that could be a life-changing period for that small years, like 3 years, 1 year, 4 years, 8 years, depending upon which dasha you're going through. So yeah, I will be bringing the Yogini Dasha course once I'm done with the Nakshatra Dasha course that I'm going through right now. But these are some of the ways you can see life-changing, events. But in a most common sense, it's the dashas. It is the dashas. It is the yogas being created by the dashas. Like, for example, yesterday, one of the comments was, what will Rahu do, if it's conjunct Jupiter or if it's aspected by Jupiter? I don't know who it was that was asking me in yesterday's questionnaire. And I was going to pick that, but I'm like, something interesting. But that itself, let's say it creates a Ashtalakshmi yoga. Whenever Rahu is 3rd, 6th, and 10th from Jupiter and being aspected, 3rd, 6th, and 10th from the ascendant or the moon and being aspected by Jupiter or conjunct Jupiter, it creates Ashtalakshmi yoga, meaning 8-fold wealth. So if, let's say, you are going through a very neutral period in your life of Jupiter, but right at the end, your Jupiter-Rahu period that comes in, or Rahu-Jupiter period that comes in, towards the beginning of Rahu Dasha, that can suddenly bring 8-fold wealth. So if you were making, let's say, 10,000 a year, you can times that by 8 folds. And you're going to start to experience that expansion. So this is why dashas and yogas become very, very important in terms of understanding the life-changing events in our life. It's not just, the 30-30 year. These are just something that I've seen, and these techniques that I'm giving with the degree and with the maturity of the planets, they work for a small period. But, for the longer period, you want to see the dashas, especially focusing on the yogini. Okay. So anyway, guys, this was my today's Q&A. And I'll be uploading something next week. So if you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you don't miss this type of videos. And again, all my books, reports, consultations are at this link, astrologykrs.com. And under course section, you will also find my current course, which you can join anytime. There's no expiration date on it. Anyway, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.